Hello folks and welcome back to another episode right here on Revv Evolution's motoring segment. And today we have for you the Deepal S07 by Chang'an Automobile. And the Deepal joins Singapore's ever-growing list of EVs. How does the Deepal S07 stand up against the competition? Well, we're going to find out.
Yes folks, it's now time we talk more about the interior of the Deepal S07. And first thing that I want to mention is I'm truly impressed with the level of craftsmanship and quality that they've done into this car. Things like your wooden trims and all this soft touch materials. And imagine the money that you're paying for your Porsches and your Audis. Okay, anyway, that being said, let's talk about some of the other impressive features about the car. I'm not gonna talk through everything, but I'm just gonna mention one or two which I thought would be good to mention before we actually do the in-car review. First of all, the Deepal S07 comes with the brand's ADAS Level 2 intelligent driving system, which includes things like your smart pilot, your cruise control, your safety features, lots of it, which I'll be discussing during the in-car review. And the system is being powered by the Qualcomm Snapdragon chip, which is probably one of the more faster chips in the market. And the main thing that you'll be looking at in the car throughout your drive, or when you're in the car basically, is this really cool looking 15.6-inch voice tracking sunflower touchscreen system. And how this basically works is the minute you get in the driver's seat, the screen kind of tilts towards you, and if it realizes that there's nobody in the driver's seat and a passenger comes in, it actually tilts towards a passenger. Lots, and I really mean lots, of interactive features in this screen, which I'll also be giving you some visuals a little later on during the video. Hello everyone, and welcome to the section of the video we call the in-car review. That's right. And if you notice, we kind of switch things around in terms of how we want to bring the content to you. We've cut up some of the unnecessary stuff which we thought we didn't want to do, and really just kind of dive right straight into the video. So we try to shorten it as much as possible. So in the earlier part of the video, we showed you some of the exterior and interior of the car that we're driving. And right now is the section where we bring as much technical information about the car as well, about the EV as well. And the EV that we have for you today, if you just joined us, is the Deepal S07. Okay, and this is a brand brought to you by Chang'an Automobile, which is a brand made in China as well, quite popular from what I understand. And by the way, this car is designed in Turin, Italy. So as you notice, there's some I've been told as well, and I've noticed it as well, there's some resemblance, especially the front, to the Lamborghini Urus, which heads have been turning, looking at me and wondering if this is a Lamborghini, which it is not, my friends. Okay, so that being said, right now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dive right into the drive itself, things like giving you all the pricing and everything else. Okay, so if you're ready, here we go. Okay, and it's priced in Singapore, if you're buying it at a price of $218,999, and this is once again after all the rebates that the government gives you, which is about $44,000. Okay, I'm not going to give you the breakdown as well. Okay, and with an annual road tax of $1,853. And in terms of colors, they got 5 different colors to choose from. Initially, I was told I was going to get the sunset orange, which I was so looking forward to. I haven't had a matching color watch to drive the car as well, but then in the end I had the white, which is not a big deal anyway. So that being said, now let's talk about the size or the specs the size of the car, this is really quite a big boy. I mean, I park it in our HDB parking lot. It takes up about an actual space in the parking lot. So that's just a little heads up for you as well. Okay, in terms of length, it is the 4.75 meters. Width is 1.93 meters, and the wheelbase of 2.9, and with a turning radius of 5.75. So that's some pretty impressive features, and especially when you have to go for a test drive or you happen to see the car physically, you'd be amazed at the amount of space that I get inside the cabin, which I'll talk about in just a bit. Okay, and right now let's talk about the performance. Let's jump to performance of the car itself. For all you not really petrol heads, but those guys interested in numbers. Okay, this, by the way, comes with a permanent type synchronous motor. All right, this is basically what it means is just basically it synchronizes the power between all the different motors available in the car to make sure that the power needed at each different wheel is given as and when necessary. Okay, in terms of maximum power, this boy has a 218 horses. It may not sound like much, but honestly on Singapore roads it is truly enough, with a good horsepower, with a good torque of 320 Newton meters of torque. Drivetrain, this comes with a rear wheel drive system, which once again it really helps, especially when you're doing you put it into the sports mode. You can really feel the pull of the car. But that being said, even in any mode that I have, this car just kind of pulls away, which is really one impressive, the fact that it, of course, is being an EV. And it comes with a smart brake regeneration system, which I'm not really a big fan of, but the whole thing is you can actually choose the different levels of brake regeneration. So whenever I take an EV, I always put on to the lowest mode that I can, because I just hate it when when you put it into like other modes, you get that whole pullback, and it's not meant for me. Basically, it's meant for my passengers who just hate that feeling of the car pulling back. So this comes by this guy anyway. It comes with the smart regeneration braking, which you can actually control in terms of the different strengths that you want in it as well. And in terms of drive modes, just like most of the EVs we've tested, it comes in different drive modes. You have your eco, your comfort, your sports, and you can actually also customize it as well. So what I've done is, when I took the car, as I mentioned, I didn't really like the whole brake regeneration thing, so I put it into customize, and I control the different levels that I wanted. In terms of steering, and maybe I wanted a sports kind of feel, but in terms of brake regeneration, I wanted it to be as low as possible. And so different. It's quite cool that the fact that you can actually control all this in the drive modes. Now let's talk about the most important component of this EV, which is the battery. Some really important numbers for you, especially for those of you who really, it's basically, when you buy an EV, what you want is a car that actually can give you the furthest mileage in terms of range, and of course power as well. The vehicle's battery basically is a 79.97 kilowatt NMC lithium battery, which is, I think, kind of standard in most EVs nowadays being produced. And in terms of charging, this is where it comes to really interesting numbers. Basically, if you're looking at what I call the slow charger, which is things like a 7 kilowatt charger and everything else, if you're looking at between 30 to 80%, it will take you a good maybe 5 to 6 hours, all right, to actually get charged. Okay, but that number once again varies on the different malls that you go. Some might offer you a higher kilowatt charging, and some might be lower, but I think 7 is usually the standard. So I'm just giving you an average number. If you're talking about DC charging or fast charging, same thing as well. From 30 to 80%, you can get this you get the S07 charged within 35 minutes, which is, it's really about, for most of the vehicles, that's really about the time that you take on a fast charger. With the maximum driving range, once again, this is the WLTP international standard. Okay, it really varies on, as I mentioned, on the different geography that you're in countries you're in, basically, whether in Singapore or anywhere else. But according to them, it does 475 kilometers on a full charge. And to be honest, folks, I've been driving it around. I've been putting it in all the different modes to kind of test out the range as well, and it is really very impressive in terms of the numbers that I'm getting on this EV. And in terms of safety features, there's about 20. I'm not going to talk about them. In fact, I'm just going to give you some visuals and some voiceovers on all those features as well. What I'm going to do is basically tell you a bit about the intelligent driving system, or the ADAS systems, or safety systems that this EV comes with. And once again, this one comes with over 20 features. So this car is really packed with a lot of technology, and I really mean a lot of technology. It's amazing how much of technology this car. The main feature, I guess, on this car is the IACC, or Integrated Adaptive Cruise Control. Okay, so what this basically boils down to is, if you're familiar with cruise control, it allows you to have active cruise control with all the different intelligent drive systems that this car has. Things like your lane assist, okay, your collision avoidance systems, and a whole bunch of safety features or driving assistance is being integrated into your IACC. So what happens is, if you're driving, you put it into the smart pilot or autopilot, basically. It takes your hands off, of course. What it does is actually will maintain the car distance that you set. You can set anything from 2 car lengths to 4 or 5. All right, and then it will just basically, if you type in your speed, so it'll just basically maintain that speed following the distance. So if any car comes in front of you, it actually slows down. So that's basically how the intelligence system works. So that's one of the main features that this car has. It also has the lane keep assist. So just to give you an example, I'm driving and I'm just kind of daydreaming or something, and if I happen to cross the line, what happens is I get this audio tone that comes on, and a vibration as well. You can actually set this in the system settings to whether you just want audio or you want vibration, or you just basically want this to turn this whole feature off. So a lot of these things, a lot of these functions in the car are actually customizable, and this is just one of the things that you can actually do. And it also has things like your lane departure warning. Same thing as well. If you happen to be going out of the lane, it just kind of warns you that you're going out of the lane, and just kind of gives you either a vibration on the steering wheel or an audio tone. Things like on your mirrors, you have the blind spot detections. If any car comes within your range, the blind spot, the yellow lights blinking on your mirrors telling you that there's actually a car at the side, so to kind of be careful. Right, in terms of everything else of the car, really no downside. The only downside that I have, not really a downside, but something that I've noticed about the car is whenever you park it, right, you really hear the fans running, which is basically to cool the batteries down. So in most EVs that I've driven, the minute I park the car or I stop the car, it's very silent. But and on the S07, it happens to be that you can actually hear it yourself if you test drive it. That the minute you put a car in park in, you can actually hear the fans blowing very loud, quite loud, basically. No, I mean, it's not going to distract you or anything, but it is quite loud. So that's just one of the things. Other than that, if you ask me, Renee, what do I think of the car itself, of this vehicle itself? Honestly, I'm truly impressed with the amount of power, with the amount of design, the power I'm getting out of the car, and most importantly, I think, and this is from me and my passengers as well, is the amount of space that I get in the car. So really, if you want a car that gives you this really fantastic look and feel of a sports SUV, I think the Deepal S07 is definitely an EV that you want to check out. All right, so that being said, do remember to like and subscribe our videos, and also follow all our different social media platforms. It's been coming out with more interesting content for you along the way, and I think that's as much information as I am going to give you right here on Revv Evolution. Till we catch you on our next drive, this is Renee signing off.